This is a video to you, Casey, to your future self. You just went through 7 days of absolute hell. You feel completely terrible right now. You're fatigued. You're very depressed. You've been beating your head against a wall. You're finally coming to the rock bottom of just losing the best opportunity that has ever been given you.
The video was made from the detox facility I was in when I came to Buchanan. I went there so I could just focus on at first getting the chemicals out of my body, and I went through 7 days of hell, and they told me it would be a good idea to make a video. The funny thing about that is the video was meant to almost to be like a deterrent or a fear factor, but when I watch it, I think more, I listen to what the things I was concerned about, because I mentioned those in that video, and I'm glad I did, because I mentioned the things that I lost. They were material, and that's important to me because that's what was really, I feel like the issue with me was I was worried about the external world and not the internal. Through the process of my recovery this time, I got into something's called the etymology of words, and that came about by me realizing that I had no idea how to listen to people, how to pay attention, things like that. So I took upon myself to look up all the words that had anything to do with listening, attention, hearing, anything like that. What I realized it does, the etymology is just finding the simple root definition. It's not like the Webster's dictionary meaning that's long. And what it did with my mind, by finding the simple, small root definition, it helped untangle the confusion that I had. And what that helped me do was realize when I wasn't listening, when I would go to these meetings, and these meetings are about sharing, and I'd realize I wasn't hearing the people that were sharing going around the table, I realized I could define when I wasn't listening, and that helped me fix a lot of my problems. So I began to use this in a lot of the other areas of my life. My choice in the changing of my name, or what I would really call it, is using the full name I was given, came about as I started to look up the origin and the meaning of words, and one day I decided to look up the meaning of the word Casey. And when I saw that it meant vigilant, I was like, great, I can really use that. So I took it a little further. I was like, well, I wonder what my middle name means, and my middle name is Earl. And of course, it means a chief, ruler, or king, or a nobleman. So I like to think of my name now as the Vigilant King, Casey Earl. So I decided to start using a different name, and it was a time in my life where I really needed a change. I really wanted a change, and what better way to start than with your name? Art, as I've always known it, was just, sketching, painting, whatever, taking a photograph and trying to make it look as real as possible, which that's how I started. I used to be able to take a photograph and sketch it with pencil and make it look just like the photograph. And, while that does take talent, it does take a lot of skill. I don't discredit that at all. But I realize today, for me, I don't call that art. I call that illustration. And I decided to look up what the word art really meant. And I'd never realized that art simply means being. That got me really thinking about what art really is to me. And now I see art really as just, I am the art. Anytime I paint now, or draw, or sketch, for me, that's me trying to say what I am, or who I am, or that I am. And that's what it's all about for me now. I realized, as far as my process in painting, I realized the best way to go about it is to look at it as a conversation. I have the idea in mind of what it is I want to say about me, and of course I sketch it first. But as I do the painting though, it's all in color. So this is where it starts to take shape. And as I do the painting, I only do little bits at a time. And I do it on a night-to-night basis. Before I go to bed, I'll sit down and I'll paint just a little bit on it. And then I take a step back and I'll look at it it could be an hour to 2 hours. And basically what I'm doing, like I said, it's like a conversation. It's like my painting when I take time and I do a little bit of the painting, then that's me talking to it. And when I take a step back and I sit there and look at it, it speaks to me because it changes a little bit more every time I, put a little bit more into it. It allows me to take time to see what the painting needs. It'll tell you what it needs. And I've learned that the older I get. In my younger days, I would try to finish the whole thing in one night, and never take time to even ask, what does this need? I was just trying to impress my own self or others with my talent. Oh, look how good of an illustrator you are. Look how good you can make something look real. Today I don't worry about that. I'm more interested in the conversation I have with the painting as I do it. And I'm in no hurry. Currently I've been working on the painting that I'm on now. I started it the 1st of April, and we're sitting here at the end of October. I would say I have about 2 weeks away from it being done. Of course, it's just me taking 30 minutes a night just to throw a little bit of paint on it. And when it's done, it's the greatest feeling of satisfaction. After I paint something that's taken that long, it just, when I step back and look at it, it's like priceless to me. I started a business called Earl's, and this business, it's a repeat of the business that I had just currently lost through my last relapse. It was called Graphics by Casey. So this one, I really hated the fact that I had my name in my first business, but this one, I feel good about it because it's called Earl's, and I really like my name because I like what it means. So anyway, I do embroidery, I do screen printing, I do decals and signs and that sort of thing. And I'm good at it. I'm very good at it. I'm just poised to go for it.